Good evening. We're already hot 20 seconds, I guess, but welcome to the Livingston Man's channel. We get to break all the rules over here because I ain't got no subscribers. I ain't got no money button. I got no monetization. I got no advertisements. We have no commercial breaks. We got none of that stuff except perhaps some paranormal nonsense involving like some Detective Malone fella or whatever. But without any further ado, I want to introduce the most amazing panel possible. I am the privileged one. It is my honor to welcome each and every one of these gentlemen. One, we got Vision, Preparedness. Two, the Roaming Prepper. And can I get a third? Can I get another one? Yes. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival.
Hell yeah.
What's up?
Welcome to my show, gentlemen. It is always a pleasure. This is like watching like Motley Crue play at like your local dive bar. It's like, damn, thank y'all for coming out when y'all appear on my channel, and I mean that. Do you guys want to give a quick rundown as if any of these people don't know who you are? I'll start with Vision.
Vision preparedness, prepping and emergency planning. Get it done, y'all, because you never know when the world is truly going to catch on fire and burn.
Let's take it to Pete.
Yes, roaming prepper, and I do a lot of content on travel because sometimes I'm just in airplanes way too much, and so things do happen when you're on the road.
Is that why you're called the Roaming Prepper?
Yes, sir. When I started this, I had clocked 50,000 miles in my own vehicle plus 18 cities in 1 year.
And never left the state of Texas.
About 9 of those cities was in Texas.
Yeah.
And of course, without any further ado, y'all know the homie downstairs right there.
What's up, everybody? Horsemen Valley Prepping and Survival, and well, as the name would suggest, preparedness and survival.
All right. First, because my question is honestly, like, I think so good, I kind of want to beat around the bush a little bit. So I'm just going to talk some what do you call it? Kitchen table talk.
Okay.
I cleaned up my garage today, Mike.
Nice.
It looks fire. Like when we did the greenhouse video, people were like, "Oh, garage looks lit." I was like, "Garage looks like shit." Jeez, these cobwebs in there would stop a mule, bro. Like it's like just get caught up steel wool like these spiders shit now. Scrubbed it, got it all nice and good. But so we were able to shoot some billiards today, and I want y'all guys, everybody, listen to me. If you're not good at pool or billiards or whatever you call it, understand that if you're ever questioning your self-esteem at all, if you're ever like questioning your self-worth at all, don't play a game of pool because you're like, yeah, I definitely suck at this. This is bad. Fuck this. How do you learn? I don't even know. I guess I just keep shooting the ball until I make it. But is it a game of luck or isn't it? I couldn't decide. And I was like, but I had fun regardless. It's been a long time since we shot a game of billiards. When's the last time, Roaming Prepper, you shot a game of billiards?
Ooh, it's been a while. Shoot, it had to have been at least a couple of years. At least that I remember. There may have been an occasion or two during that time that alcohol may have slightly erased, but it's been at least a few years since I've had a serious game of billiards.
I suppose I left out, but perhaps the ultra big brain people in the chat figured out is that we have a pool table in our garage, and we've had it for a long time. So I learned how to. My thing was I don't exactly know how to shoot good. Like some people can like steer the cue ball almost, but I learned how to jump it. I can make impossible shots. I can make it like bounce. I think they call it a masse. Make it jump over. It's fun. How many people are even here with us? I don't even know how to read this stream. Right? Shit, 31 people. Wow, this is absolutely. This is like the fucking Woodstock of the Livingston Man's channel. Like, you don't understand how many people come together for this, man.
True.
Should we start playing Creedence? CCR music, not Creedence.
Let's just catch a copyright strike real quick.
Oh yeah, there you go.
What's that gonna? What are they gonna do? Take the monetization away?
We're gonna take your money away.
Does. Copyright just shares your monetization at this point, especially if it's music. They don't care.
What tends to work out better, we found the safest route is just kind of make our own music. Like you need to custom fit something somewhere, just do that. Otherwise, all that nonsense boils down to your permanent record. You're gonna put it on your permanent record.
God,
And, you know, you're gonna come back for. You're gonna audit you one day. Imagine that. They come back for everything you owe.
man, they used to tell us that all the time as
All the
kids,
time. Yeah.
Your teachers were trying to warn you.
and now the CIA has our permanent record.
There it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. Well, I do have a PBR, JD prepping, but I'm starting it off with the Keystone Light because it's just cheaper cores for reasons I would rather not fathom.
Cheaper chords.
But it's patriotic as fuck. I mean, you know, we're out here USO all the way, baby. Give a smooth salute, okay?
There you go.
So my question to the panel, and what I want you to do is really dig in and like be honest with this one. Like think back.
Welcome home.
Now it's going to sound harsh, but what I mean is what I was going to say. What radicalized you, but I don't like that word. What galvanized you? What was the thing? It doesn't matter at what point in your life it came from. But what was the thing where you knew that this prepping thing was correct, that you had to do this, that it was right? What you know solidified the foundation of that for you, where you said, "I'll never turn back from that"? This must be the way. What was there? Was there a thing? Was it in your upbringing? Was it a current or past event that was current at the time? Give it to me. Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival.
Well, there was kind of a trigger for me, and it was the SAFE Act, when they put the SAFE Act into effect here in New York, and watching people scramble to try and buy a rifle before a deadline, right? That was something that that really started the wheels in motion for me, because to see laws change like that and turn people into felons overnight if you bought something past a certain date, it just didn't seem right. And knowing that course and knowing the ends that they would go to, I said, you know what, I gotta buy more freeze-dried food, man. This shit ain't looking good. And that was what really solidified it for me, was watching them literally make unconstitutional laws regardless of what the Constitution says, and you're just gonna have to deal with it.
Now, the SAFE Act is, am I right in saying that's like 2012 or so, wasn't it? Like, I remember that was back in the day.
Yeah, shortly at 2014, I think, was when I really first started in the preparedness journey. And I didn't get real serious about it for a few years after that. And then we started doing the bug out weekends and stuff like that, and it grew from there. So it was initially them changing the laws like that, right? So it's that was what started it for me. It started the ball rolling, and it led to where I am today.
I can dig it. All right. Let's go with since we'll just head over to roaming prepper.
Oh, I'm over here. Okay, you pointed at Vision.
Yeah, it's
it was a head fake.
On the screen, you should be over there, but you're not.
Well, my dad was a Cold War guy, right? He was a BAR gunner back in the day, so he always, he lived through he was actually born during the Great Depression, so hearing his stories, he had me late in life, so hearing his stories was kind of eye-opening as I got older and understood more. So I was always, the Cub Scout, be prepared, all that. But I really evolved when our family got moved to Gulf Coast, to Louisiana, to work in the offshore industry. And we got hit by a couple of hurricanes. And that was a new experience for us versus, say, a blizzard or a rainstorm. And then we left Louisiana, and like 3 months later, Katrina just flattened New Orleans. And that really, really solidified that, wow, this is not something I can do just seasonally. That was a hot mess. And what was that? What was Katrina, like 04, 05, something like that?
Yeah,
And,
Bush was president. 'Cause remember, they like acted like he was supposed to stand there and like stop it.
Yeah, it's and it was bad. And you know, hearing the stories, because we lived outside toward a little somewhere between Lafayette and New Orleans, so we knew people there. And I heard those stories firsthand. The National Guard was indeed getting shot at. They had reserve Marines going there and getting in firefights, and it was just a hot mess. And at the same time, the state decided it was a good idea to confiscate homeowners' guns in their own property. Something that since then has been changed in the state law and federal law, but they were knocking on doors. So if you didn't get flooded and you were still in your own home, they would say, you need to give me all your guns, or they'd arrest you, and now your house had nobody in it. And that was a mess from the government standpoint, the hurricane standpoint, and that at that point I was like, no, I gotta that was the next level experience for me. Watching that to people I knew.
It sounds like, I mean, I hate to boil down, like, a natural disaster like brings its own calamities along with it, but often and same as Mike's case is that the government response to it is even worse. So I'm going to chalk it up to, okay, so you've been galvanized by government ineptness. 2 out of 4 here. Trent,
So
what solidified your belief in the lifestyle?
Well, not so long ago, and I'll say it, Charlie 19 made me sit back and say, okay, this is real, and I need to step my game up, because Hurricane Katrina is what got me started. And, I went down the road, here and there, did this, did that, extra water, extra food. But, when Charlie 19 hit, I was like, oh no, did this. Yeah, I'm glad I'm doing what I'm doing, and I need to buy more. And I kicked it into overdrive, and literally, fortunately, had the opportunity to take a chunk of money and buy stuff. And fortunately, the majority of it went to foods, freeze-dried foods, shelf-stable foods, water, all of that. And I'm not looking back, because I will not depend on the government for nothing.
All right. Again, so 3 for 4 here. Just government ineptitude, and whether it's ignorance or incompetence or a really toxic combination of both is what you get from government. You elect a pretty smiling face that says what you want to hear. There's a person with a leaf blower. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but that's what that is. He's got the shitty 2-stroke one too. That handheld shit. Homie is poor. Ain't even got the backpack, bro. Step it up. No. You guys hear it? I can.
No, I'm not hearing it, man.
Well, we got 3 out of 4 with government ineptness. I'm going to take it. I guess I'll go a little bit farther back. My father was indeed a Vietnam veteran. Came back. Some of my earliest memories are playing with his surplus gear out of his duffel bag. Like, he never let go of having served his time. Over there, one of the, these fellas. So, he was always encouraged. Of all the things he did not encourage, and he was a rather unpleasant individual for, most of the time. When you did see a bit of a spark or a little bit of light in him, is when me and the homies would go build a fort, or like we're digging a foxhole, we're watching Red Dawn, or we got cool stuff, we're gonna go, you know what I mean? So it's always been with me, like wearing the fatigues, some people call them, as we now might call them BDUs or ACUs or what have you. Was it with the camouflage clothes and the military? I never served myself, but
Like
I'm
the
about
woodland
to,
camera.
I'm about to go serve this fellow with the fucking leaf blower. Anyway, so it started with that. Like it was always encouraged. Like I was in the Boy Scouts. I learned how to pitch tent, learned how to tie knots, I learned how to start fires, I learned how to cut wood, learned how to swing a hammer. So many things that I feel like are honestly missing from like the male child's life, especially. I see them. I see 18-year-old male children, no interest in driving, no interest in doing drugs, no interest in banging chicks. I'm like, I don't understand you. My 16th birthday, I was online at the DMV getting my permit, so I get the fuck out the house, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Bye. And you didn't see me until my first DWI when my ass was licenseless and stuck at home again. So,
but that was self-inflicted.
Yep. No worries. But that was the thing, and this I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the Boy Scouts, man, because that became a very political or politicized organization, and now it's all screwed up. And it, to me personally, and I'm a boy dad. I'm sure you guys, I believe, have sons as well. It seems like they attack the very things that made young men. Functional men.
That's right.
Yeah.
Those little building blocks. And now we have a bunch of weenies that are running around and it's not like, oh, they're thin, because when we were young we ran around, we didn't we ran all the time, so we were all thin, but they look.
I used to run from the cops, like city of Hudson, bro. Like, come on, man! I'd be jumping in people's hedges and running.
Man, we ran from everything in New York City, but I don't.
Michael agree with me. What Hudson used to be, I'll take that over what it is now any day. Like, y'all don't know. You think you live in Hudson? So beautiful, guy. Historic downtown. I'll show you historic downtown. Oh man, I miss them days. It was urban decay. It was working class. It was
chasing each other around in abandoned apartments and houses,
running up through people's backyards with the flashlights, and
absolutely.
All of our dads on the street were like Vietnam vets, so we all had fucking angle head flashlights and all this.
Oh, those are great.
You know what I mean? Like we were like out there like Red Dawn and shit, like with the Goonies. You know what I mean?
Well, look at even the movies, Red Dawn, Goonies. That was about kids going and having an adventure, not harassing each other on the internet.
We had a game that the kids in our neighborhood played. It was called Track Down. You would divide up into teams, and you could only play it at night. And one team would go after the other team. You talk about running through neighbors' yards, jumping fences.
We used to call this manhunt. Same game. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could do kill. Sometimes we would play wolf, where one person was the wolf, and like you had to like figure out who it was and shit. Like,
oh, that's cool.
Chase everybody down.
We played Roundup, where I was it, and then tagged Vision, and now Vision and I are both it. And the first guy tagged was the first guy it on the next game. Right. So you were either the fastest kid, the most mobile kid, or you were the best at hiding.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you were that kid who could hide somewhere
in a heartbeat.
And you
just fucking cheating. Oh, you just hid the whole time? Like that was cheating. That's when you're trying to have a freaking firearms freaking conflict, you're like ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, your homie be like, I'm metal. You're like, bro, you ain't fucking metal. You just cheated, bro. Fuck that. Like you're dead, bro.
But those were games. Fuck that. Those games were fun, and you ran out.
Because we couldn't be like, now they'd be watching other people play that game on the phone, like.
Right. Yeah. And then, my dad, when he called us to come home, he would stand on the front porch and whistle. You could hear him streets away, blocks away. And when you heard that whistle, everybody stopped. It was like,
wait, who's that?
Later, I got to go home.
Yeah.
Oh, your parents will hit you with that fucking, you ain't going out to play tomorrow night. You're like,
I think those experiences set the foundation of
Yes.
wanting to be prepared, because you did go and fall off of trees and kids got hurt and mom gave you, a Band-Aid from the first aid kit.
Yep.
And as you grew up, you're like, well, hell, the first aid kit's kind of handy. Maybe I need one in my car.
Need one, yeah.
Bro, remember the first aid spray was like spray alcohol that like it hurts. Mom come at you with that iodine swab. Remember that fucking thing?
Yo, that hurt more than the actual injury.
Exactly.
100%.
Allegedly, I'm the guy that was on punishment one whole summer.
Oh, nice.
Indoors.
Yeah. Remember shopping cart joust?
Has anybody on this panel
got a
ever
couple
been to
of rooms.
jail? Any? Huh?
No.
No.
Nobody? Y'all ain't never been to jail. I've been to jail. Talk to me about grounded, okay? I went to fucking jail before. Literal jail. It sucks hard, bro. You don't want to go. Breakfast is peaceful because nobody wakes up for that. But yeah.
It's just a lot of unhappy people stuck in a box.
Exactly.
No, you want to go in the dorm? I'm like, I do not want to go in the dorm with a bunch of motherfuckers snoring. Why don't I just go to Hudson Valley Prep and Survival's bug out weekend?
Right.
You've definitely fit to find some snorers. No doubt about that.
Y'all should be like y'all like the lottery people. Y'all need your own campsite. Like, fuck out of here. Like everybody who snores, come together, bro.
A lot of
One day
comments in the
you'll
chat.
actually
We
come
didn't
to
get
Ohio, for a bug out weekend. Allegedly.
Snorers are. You know why I don't like people who snore? Because they're like fucking arrogant, bro. They're like, I'm fucking sleeping and you're not.
But I don't
It
really think
suck if you got fucking. Oh, sorry you missed all night sleeping, bro. I've had visions of fucking smothering a motherfucker with their own little camp pillow. I'm like, what? But the sleep apnea, bro. He succumbed to his injuries. That's what happened.
This is a homemade.
succumb to his. That's so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, you get that guy who's snoring in a road trip, so you just lay on the brake, honk the horn, and scream, but then start driving immediately like nothing happened.
Yep.
Guy in the
Wakes him
passenger
up.
seat's like, he has a whole seizure, wakes up. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you, dude?
Bro, you ever
just
see
gave
one
him
of
an
these people?
aneurysm,
That shit, they fucking sound like they died, bro. You're like, and they're making all this noise. They rumble in the fucking earth, and then they stop breathing. You're like, is he dead?
He did. Yeah.
He's no more.
And you're on the fucking edge of you're like in the eye of the needle, and so you're like, you're like, Jesus Christ, kill the fucking thing. Holy shit. Oh man, I can't handle y'all this snore. I mean, y'all are different breed.
Yeah, they are.
It's
Not me.
it's so
I would never
important to
I would
know.
never make any noise in my life ever when I was sleeping. My wife says I snore. I don't believe it. I think she's lying.
So important to
You're
know.
farting.
She tried to
Who's a
tell me
snorer?
she tried to tell me there wasn't a pickle in the Christmas tree. I know there was.
Pickle in the Christmas. We had
I was
an
like,
orange
you put a
cat.
pickle in the Christmas tree. If you find a pickle in the Christmas tree, you're supposed to get an extra gift or some shit. I was like, did you put a pickle in the tree? She's like, no, of course not. I know there's a pickle in that tree. Of course, that's what she
Okay.
would say.
So guys like us, our kids have a different childhood than a lot of other kids. So speaking of Christmas, one year, all three of mine, my daughter and my two boys, were absolute shits. And I'm like, y'all are going to get the Christmas troll.
Yep.
And they looked at me, what the hell's the Christmas troll? So he's going to hide your gifts all over the house. Well, they continued being turds. So Christmas Day, there was a note on the tree, go find your gifts.
Oh.
They were finding gifts as late as May in the freezer, in the linen closet.
The most obvious places.
Yeah, like dumb places that, well, because they didn't do their laundry, so they never looked in the hamper, so guess what? There's a gift in there. May, I think, was the latest one. I did that year. And my daughter's like, I think this is my brother's gift. And she's walking around confused in the house.
Apparently,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not the only one who can't stand people that snore, or some of y'all are the person that snore. If you think I'm talking about you, I am. How about you be more concerned, selfish prick?
If you don't know, that you
Or
have
you just
a
adjusted
couple
your
of
pillow.
snorers in your group, right? And you bug out with these people, they can become a liability really, really fast. So
Thank you for making this now practical. See, I don't just hate people that snore. They're national security issue.
well, they can
Thank you.
totally put you in danger if you're in
Yeah.
a situation at night where you're laying low and everybody's quiet, but somebody's over there cutting wood. It's not a good look for you, bro. So it's important to know who those people are and know that you have to make special accommodations for them, or just let them know if you snore, we're going to kill you ourselves.
I might not.
And either the
I'm not really
Marauders
gonna bring
find
it
you.
to. I'm not bringing that to committee. I'm not going to be like, all right, guys. So listen, this dude, can't deal with snoring. I'm just going to be like, oh, the ramifications got him.
You get a spray bottle with water and lemon juice. Works great on cats and people snoring. Just like, burn up their sinuses a little bit. I use it on cats too. Cats don't behave. Sting them. You just grab the bottle after that cat takes off running. Like that.
So-
See, you remember.
Yeah, this works too. So this one time we were went bear hunting up in the Adirondacks, and we had the big group colony tent, big huge 10-man tent. We all set up our little space in it, outfitter style. Homie's over there, crushing it, bro. And I turned to him. I grabbed my nasty ass, balled up stankin' socks, and I threw them at him. And what happened was that by the luck of everything, it went right in his mouth. And then he woke up, choking on my imagine it, if you will, my
Look,
nasty ass socks.
That was so funny. Mike evaporated.
He spits them out. He's got some electrical issues going on. He spits out the dead socks, and I quick act like I was asleep again.
Yeah.
It just didn't move. I swear to God. Yeah, but there comes a time when you're just trying to get some sleep, and somebody over here clearly getting some sleep. It's like, bro. Yeah, it's kind of a pet peeve of mine. People that snore, people that litter, and people in general. So I hate. What radicalized me though, events wise, to where I knew that I couldn't trust the government. This actually goes back a lot further than we talked about. Where post 9/11, we're talking. I don't even know at this point, but November, December, where the Pentagon came out when they were going to try to spin the play. They literally came on TV and told everybody we're going to start a disinformation campaign, and we're going to lie to people and make them think that shit ain't real. And then 2 days later, this full bird admiral or whatever the fuck went on TV, same dude, and was oh, we put a stop to that disinformation campaign. Turns out people weren't on board with that. And I was that's the disinformation right there. September 11, 2001 was pivotal not only for myself. I was 18 years old. I worked at a nursing home. First job. Me and my buddy that worked there happened to have the day off at the same day. And my fucking phone starts ringing at 9:45 in the morning on my day off. I'm like, what, bro? What do you want? He's like, turn on your TV right now. And he said that shit. And saw the United States get kicked in the nuts by whoever we think did that. But that was when I knew that not only were we not so much guaranteed to be protected, but that it could come to you no matter where you were.
Mm-hmm.
With some balls, wow. So whatever went on there. It doesn't, outside of the scope of who and why and every other fucking thing. We spent the day, because of the complete just lack of information. Nobody knew what to do. We spent the day driving around in my car on back roads because we figured that whatever was attacking us wouldn't
Go back there.
Bother with a couple of guys in a shitty blue station wagon driving on the back road. There were people at the nursing home we worked at worried they might hit us, bro. The Iranians are coming. They kept saying. just a baby. Livingston Man. I was born in 1980s. I'm like late 20th century vintage. Okay, Juby Joe. I've been there the whole time. And every single thing that's ever popped up past like September 11th has seemed to almost to me be a product of it. The same grand scheme. We wanted to see what you would do. Everything seems like it's not so much a current event, but a social experiment. And I feel constantly my morals and my opinions are constantly tested by the current thing.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
I've never been one to subscribe to current thing. Just because capri pants are hot, I'm not wearing them. Not till they're not cool anymore. It's just always been me. But I see a trend in media and in social influencing to sort of get a group think going on, an echo chamber. Everybody think the same, everybody do the same. That's a hive mentality. You'll get the same ends from shooting at two different points of view, because if you go to the extremes too far to one side or the other, you end up on the other. You can only go so far left before you turn back to the right, and so on and so forth. And I think that what galvanized me was the realization that humans are becoming so digital, so dependent on the technology, that someone, whoever they are, has to like remember the times before you could just ask the stupid AI what you should do.
Well, I wonder if the books are going to last long enough for us to be able to still reference them. If you guys don't have a set of encyclopedias, you should fucking find one and just put it on a shelf somewhere.
The older the book, the better. The older the book, the better. Any more the sanitation culture we have, where we read that book that the guy wrote back in the day, but he said some problematic things in there, and we don't say that anymore. We don't do that anymore. When you find a first edition, a second edition, a really old book, I'm not saying like, oh man, I can't wait to read this, it's fucking racist. What I'm saying is that it's what the author intended. It's the same as sanitizing a song, taking all the swear words out, censorship.
Yep.
Imagine if you wrote or you created something, but then somebody down the line was like, actually, let's blot that out, make that not a thing.
Yeah, product of it. Had it happen to me.
Yep.
Well, it removes the context of what it was, and I think there's a lesson to be learned there. You look at Huckleberry Finn, like from Mark Twain. There are a lot of words and references that we would consider racist, but at the time, that's what was going on. And yet, Huck Finn, two of his best friends, was a much poorer child and a black boy who back then was unheard of.
Right.
But they were friends. And actually, he was very, I guess, progressive for his time. Yep. But they're starting to complain, well, it says racist things in. But in order for you to understand how far we've come, you have to understand where we were.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't the man being racist. He was reflecting what he saw
around him.
So that 100 years later, young men and women could read and go, wow, this is how it was back then.
Yeah.
Not, oh, this offends me now 110 years later, so we should burn it. Then you wind up in Fahrenheit 451 territory. Well, let's just burn all the books.
Right.
Because they might offend.
Yeah.
And then the old saying that people who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. And you start to wonder, is that actually the agenda? Where you get into 1984, again, another book that often comes up in prepper circles, and I'll often quote it, where that's the idea. There is not a past and there is not a future. There is only an everlasting present, where tomorrow everything could be different, but it's not tomorrow, it's today. What they've done is just simply control the timeline. History cannot repeat itself because it's simply not allowed to.
Mm.
But instead, ironically, it sort of repeats itself because it never changes.
Yeah, it feels like Groundhog Day almost, just with new, cooler stuff.
Yep, exactly.
And you see, back to Lou's point earlier, like what changed us, what galvanized why we do what we do. You think about it, there are a lot of us, the four of us, and I'm sure people in the chat will say, oh, I read this about World War II, or I read this about the Great Depression. They're not being taught that now. They're not being taught handwriting.
Mm-mm.
I have 23-year-old, 24-year-old people out of college who get hired by my company. And granted, my handwriting looks like a doctor's, but good Lord, they can't write script.
Right.
Yeah.
If the
they stop
keyboards
moving.
break, they can't
Yes.
communicate. They can't convey a thought.
Well, they also can't read historical documents.
No.
Right. Yeah,
So
because they're written in cursive.
You can't read what's written in historical context, and you don't actually know even what it says. So it's all up to whoever's interpretation of what it says, because, well, the young folks don't know how to read it.
Yeah, that right there.
Yeah, that exactly like proves the point I'm making here is that the earliest source you can find were for whatever information you're seeking. Start there. Not always correct, but the least likely to have been modified, to have been added to have been interpreted by somebody else. And to the point is just remember the old days. Like, don't like what is it? What do they say in the meme? Like, never forget what they took from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We had 24-hour Walmarts, $1 McChickens. We had it
$1
all.
McChickens.
Yeah.
And payphones.
What radicalized you? There it is, right there. $1 McChickens.
I actually found a picture on my phone of a chicken at 99 cents a pound in 2019. And you go there now, it's a $2.99 in a lot of places. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but that's a 300% increase.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you wonder why young people can't afford a house, they can't get their first car. If everything went up by triple, yeah, their kids are getting killed right now trying to get
Well,
started.
yeah. Average new car is $60,000. The average new home here in the People's Republic of New Yorkistan is approaching $500,000.
Yeah, that'll
If
get
it's
you
not there
a
already.
two-bedroom. That'll get you a 2-bedroom 1940s farmhouse with no insulation. I've seen it.
Yeah, on a postage stamp.
Jeez.
But it's rough, man. It's rough.
It's the money. Like now you said it's a 300% increase in the price of the chicken. No, what it actually is, if we may, is a 300% decrease in the value of the money.
Yeah.
The money
It's not
is
the products have always been worth roughly the same, but you must understand the law of supply and demand. When especially when you can just make up money that doesn't exist and it's just a number in a computer, well then it's fake and it doesn't matter, and you can just do whatever you want.
And
As
then
long
when you
as
run
long as
out, they print more.
as long as like 100 people have like most of it and the rest of us get to have like the rest of it, that's cool. Trickle down economics, my favorite.
I definitely think the price increases are going to continue. We stopped giving a lot of money away when Trump was elected, and I think that the dump of the dollar over there was literally to stave off hyperinflation. It's the only way they could give so much money to so many different places was they had to burn it. You know what I mean? So the more they burn it up, the less hyperinflation you get, because the petrodollar is dead. The BRICS are trading gold or oil for anything except the U.S. dollar. So there's trillions and trillions of petrodollars out there that are all coming back to roost. And I think I don't think we've seen the beginning of the pinch yet, really.
Yeah. Yep.
It's easy enough. All it takes is for some like rebel to shoot a rocket at a ship, or for like OPEC to raise the price of oil, and all kinds of global diplomacy dictates literally how much stuff in your Amazon cart costs.
Yeah.
And as Mike always points out, is what you allow will continue. And American consumers, I think consumers in general, the 99% in general, soak up all the economic bullshit, all the pain, all the taxes, all the costs will be passed along to the consumer. When they raise tariffs, all that means is coming out of your pocket, not theirs. It's you're in a capitalist society like the so-called West lives in. What you're playing, if you're not one of them, which means if you are one of the 100 mad ass rich people in the chat, please reveal yourself, but I bet you're not, which means you are the rest of us. You're playing a rigged game against cheaters that is not at all designed for you to win, and if you do, it is by sheer luck. What do we do about that? I don't really know, because even when you try to flex your economic muscle, when everybody wants to boycott Amazon and do this and anything, it either doesn't work out because in some cases people depend on it. Because it's dependable and reliable and affordable, God forbid. But it is, in fact, a China clearinghouse. It is, subject to these tariffs. And where do we go from here? America, which way? Western man, right? Western person. We want to bring manufacturing back home. Okay. You want to work in a factory? No. Who then? Okay, so everything sounds good until it's like time to like step up and do it. Where do we go from here? America, we the people. We love our things. We love our like convenience. We love our Amazon Prime. We love our Netflix. We love all the trappings of modern society. But what if really that was all taken away, and all it takes is that stupid little cable coming into your house to not carry anything anymore.
Turn off the button. Bloop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you see time and time again that it doesn't take cyber security attacks. It doesn't take foreign actors. It doesn't take terrorist attacks. It doesn't take any of that. It takes a natural disaster. It takes a random occurrence. It takes a squirrel in the wrong place to shut you off.
Like that monkey in South America that got zapped in the power plant and took out half a country of 30 million people.
Yep.
Statistically unlikely? Sure. Could it happen? Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Why you got to stay prepared. Whatever it was, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow panel men, horsemen, galloping up. Got to stay prepped. And whatever it was that galvanized you, whatever made you believe that this is the way, that this is what you should do, and this is the way you should live your life, or even it's just a thing you should keep in the back of your mind. Nobody said this got to be a full-time job, but you got a first aid kit in the truck. Awesome, bro. You got some Spam in the pantry. Awesome, bro. You got some like a bag of beans. You like put some seeds aside. You like thought about tomorrow, bro. Keep doing that. That's the point of the whole thing. And guess what? If you're alive and not a bot in the chat and you're watching this, you've done excellent so far. You didn't die, which Hudson Valley Prep and Survival might tell you is probably the first rule.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't add or subtract to the population, specifically yourself.
Correct.
Yep.
School your friends. Drop hints, plant seeds, I believe is also the term, like, Inception stuff. You ever see that movie? You got to plant seeds. You can't tell someone what to do and like talk down to them. You need to do this. You need to do that. But remember your parents trying to teach you math? What is 7 times 3? I did not fucking learn shit from that. Okay. But when you're like, hey man, if you ever just figure out what 7 times 3 is, I mean, I'm just telling you, bro, and you school them along and be like, yeah, it's 21, man. Hell yeah. Great job, dude. That's how you win hearts and minds. All so important. Preppers, all of us, gotta shed the image of being the standoffish weirdo. People think that, not because you are, but because they're told that you are. Change their minds with that. Like, be outgoing. Be like, oh no, like, how you doing? What you want to know? Like,
and there are ways to probe. I know that's a terrible phrase to use, but there are ways to probe in a conversation to see if the other person is on the same page as you.
Yep.
I have the new SUV, and I had a business friend fly up. We had meetings together, and he's like, man, show me this truck. I love it. And I opened the hatchback, and he goes, hell, you got a little bug out bag in there. And the minute he said that, I'm like, I do. He said, I just put my first one in my wife's truck. She's like, what do I need this for? And then she got stuck in the beach, or so I don't remember, some silly story that she got stuck somewhere. And he said, she was liking those water bottles I left in the back. And I'm like, I bet she was when it was 95 degrees down here. Yeah. But little blurbs, those little pokes in a conversation, and certain people will key in on you, and they'll give you that look across the table like,
yep,
what did you just say? And that's the person you want to try and find later and go, so, as I was saying, and have a conversation. Yeah. You'd be shocked. There are a lot of people doing it. They're afraid to say anything because they're afraid, like Lou was saying, of being the outcast, being the, you stand off. They think of the guy from, what was it, John Goodman? Was it John Goodman in 10 Cloverfield Lane? Have you all seen that movie?
Yeah, some Dale Gribble type,
some horrendous creature.
You must be some conspiracy theory weirdo. And it's like, no, I just feel like if the power goes out, maybe I could stay alive. That's cool. Right. But what radicalized you? The idea that I could survive a natural disaster, I guess. Fuck me, right? It doesn't sound so insane when you put it in terms like that. And where can you find your people? Well, practically anywhere. But like as Pete said, is throw a little chum in the water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But most likely to find these sorts of people, of course, would be at your local firearm enthusiast club, perhaps your local place of worship.
Yep.
Perhaps anywhere where you already have like-minded people, you already have something to build on, and probably are, again, like-minded, and you can form some relationships that way.
That's true. That's how you do it.
We still got a whole 6 minutes left. Hey, Mike.
Mike is doing ninja training in the dark over there.
Yes, he is. Totally. I'm waiting for him to put on the nods.
Sun's going down over there. Why don't you talk to us before you get blacked out?
She's gone. You gotta keep doing the things, man. Just keep doing the things best you can with what you got, where you're at, and chip away at it, man. It's a tall order to be, ready. You know what I mean? And I've often looked for the end of ready, and it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's the never-ending preparedness, right? Mm-hmm. It's the train that keeps on rolling. There's no stopping it. You just got to keep plugging away at it, right?
It evolves. It doesn't stop.
Yeah, right. Exactly, Pete. It evolves. It evolves into other plans, other places, other people, other things. And sometimes you got to start all over again from scratch, honestly. There's a lot of people who have been there, who have done it. It's not impossible. And reach out, man. Everybody wants to help. So reach out. That's a big one.
He's reading the comments.
Uh-huh.
Vision prepared.
That's the thing, y'all. Yes, sir. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny that you was going to speak because I was going to let you. You just hosted not all that long ago a gathering of like-minded individuals. Now, without having to even go into too many specifics, what did you take away from it?
Community.
Mhm.
I met new people that live in the great state of Ohio, and one of them literally the next county over from me.
Talks about
Also-
that shit like it's Atlantis or something like that. Ohio, like I'm supposed to live flat Earth,
Flat Earth.
Hyperborea or something. Okay, cool, man. Like fucking Narnia, awesome. But
Narnia.
at least over there, they all getting along, so that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
Ohio is generally thought of as the heartland of America. So, were you seeing all walks?
Yes.
Very
From all-
diverse, and not just racially, but especially like economically. When Mike
Yeah.
would do these things, everybody showed up.
Everybody. Yeah.
There was no demographic, right?
No.
No.
People from all walks of life, all economic status, rural, suburban, apartment. We even had folks from out of the country show up.
It's not a question of economics or
No.
color. It's a question of your
Mhm.
personal culture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Do you
Personal
believe
culture.
that you have ownership or responsibility or accountability for yourself and the people around you? We can't plan for everything, right? That would,
No.
unless you're Elon, you have $1 billion and be like, oh, I'm going to do the apocalypse bunker. Most of us in the chat don't have $1 billion hanging around, but your mentality
They don't
is
talk
what
about it.
Some of us
segregates.
don't even have $1.
Yeah, I don't even know where my wallet is. It's somewhere in the house. I shoot.
A conversation for another time. But I saw a headline today, so it must be true that only 16% of financial transactions in 2025 so far were with cash. Only 16%.
Wow. People hoarding it, man. I've been saying it forever. Make mattress
We're doing
money.
away with the pennies.
Exactly. There you go,
Well-
Mike. Make mattress money. Yes.
Not only are pennies apparently somehow more expensive to produce than they're worth, but actually are nickels as well. And Americans actually throw them away.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
Now it's on to we don't have time because we got 2 minutes left to the live stream here. I know we showed up late, but guess what? We're going to leave on time. We're going to get half of this right. Okay. Now talking about half right. When we were playing billiards before, I am really good at getting one of the balls in, and it's usually the white one. I will smack that fucking white ball right into the pocket. Like, see what I did? So we started calling a half right. Now, so I'll leave you with the strange dilemma that you may be doing it right, but you may be doing it absolutely wrong. I'm glad I came up with it. What happened? I was lost on a topic all day. When we had the text earlier, I was like, oh man, I think we're on my channel tonight. And I was like, oh Christ, I gotta fucking figure out a topic. And I was like, you know what? Why? So I think we've asked this question before, was essentially like, I think I said one time, what's it all for? But I appreciated this conversation where instead, like, no, for you personally, like, why? Like, what was it? And it was, each of us pointed to a specific thing, like without really much more of thought to it. I hope, hopefully the chat like reflected on, what that's the real, what are you doing this for? Never forget whatever that was. Cause that was the moment of truth. Like where you were like, sold. 8:45 on May. I got 17,000 steps today. You know what's funny? I was riding a lawnmower all day. I didn't take a single step.
I counted the lawnmower.
Yeah, these fitness watches, it thinks I'm rowing because I'm like doing this.
Yeah.
Or biking, either one. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by to my humble little channel. All 37 of you. We'll see where the numbers go after the fact. But I mean, we got Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, the Roaming Prepper, Vision. I hate this shit. Vision Preparedness, Absolute Dream Team. Thank you. And honestly, thank you for stopping by my humble little channel. We got no money button. We got no moderators. We got nothing over here. This is like Motley Crue showing up to the local dive bar to like just jam a show. And I always appreciate when I get to host you gentlemen. And I always appreciate when you have me on when y'all are hosting. Take us away, Mike.
Stay safe. Stay prepared. And keep your head on a swivel, man. You never know where the next issue is going to come from. So keep your ear to the ground.
Roaming Prepper, last words.
Do the best you can with what you have available, and don't cause yourself more problems overreacting. Think through what you do.
Vision Preparedness, finish me off, baby.
Yee. Keep moving forward, folks. Don't look back. Don't worry about your mistakes. Focus on today and plan for tomorrow.
Yep.
This has been another exciting, amazing adventure of the Four Horsemen. Thank you for galloping with us, everybody. Appreciate you. Drop a like, share the video, drop a comment, like do the thing. Like, you know, why don't you be an upstanding YouTube citizen and do your part and like interact with the whole thing, make it a part of your personality. Let this be what radicalized you. Yeah. Good night, everybody. Say good night, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.